Because as journalists, how many times have we been talking and writing about how disappointing it's been when India gets to the knockouts and then, suddenly we don't look that good anymore. But could this team be in danger of that? Or as Graham says, this team is looking different, even than the others who looked very good till the knockout stages?
Shivani, on the evidence of what we've seen of India in the last 8 matches, I think I would go with what Swani said, that there just doesn't seem to be any chink in the armor. We've lost in 2015 and 2019 in the semifinals. There was a stumble in both games. We lost it in half an hour of batting against New Zealand. We lost 3 wickets and the match was gone. So too in 2015, the bowlers did extremely well in both tournaments. Both tournaments, the batting let us down. Now, stumbles can happen. This is after all sport. There's pressure. There's human frailties and so on and so forth. But they played flawless cricket as of now against Australia. 3 wickets down for 2 runs, you go out and win that match. And then after that, this a succession of victories, each getting better than the other.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it doesn't seem to me that you need to peak from here or you need to plateau. I just think that the need to play as they've been doing. They found a game plan to fight back in every match whenever there's been a crisis.
What about that law of averages that everybody keeps fearing in sports?
No, if we want to be a cynic, we can be a cynic till kingdom comes home. I think the most important thing, and I have been quoting the Australia of 2003. They never thought about these things, or the Australian team of that or those 4-5 years. They never thought about losing. They didn't even. I don't think that even stemmed into their brains that they can ever lose. And you think of 2003, India lost to Australia, and that's about it. Australia didn't lose to anybody in South Africa. So you can be a dominant force, but for me, again, it comes down to because of what we have seen recently. It's about it's a sort of a leaderboard syndrome. In golf, there's something called a leaderboard syndrome, that you're on top of the leaderboard and suddenly you think, oh, I need to play because I'm doing better than others, and you suddenly go frigid and then you come down the leaderboard. I just hope and pray that India doesn't go through that, because we've seen that WTC twice against Australia this year at the Oval, at Southampton against New Zealand, the kind of things which we did, and suddenly you're thinking, is this the best test team in the world? And even in ICC competitions, you reach a stage and then suddenly India is doing things which we have not seen them do. You've bossed the tournament and suddenly you behave like, oh, you're trying to be one of the also-rans. So that is something which you want to guard against as the Indian team.
I don't think this team is suffering from that mindset, though.
I hope so.
Although in sports, of course, as all of us know, anything is possible. Now, although India is already into the semi-finals and they will end as table toppers regardless of what happens, they will like to keep this run going in their final group stage match, which is versus the Netherlands on Sunday. Team India, as I said, is hoping to remain unbeaten before the knockouts. Netherlands are hoping not to finish at the bottom of the table with a third win for them. They had earlier beaten South Africa and Bangladesh. In this match, there is a possibility that Rohit Sharma could look to rest the likes of Jasprit Bumrah, for example, bring in Prasidh Krishna, who came in for an injured Hardik Pandya into the squad. They could even blood in Ishan Kishan, Shardul Thakur, maybe bench a few of the regular players. So that match, which is India's final group stage match, the final group stage match of the World Cup, is India versus Netherlands at the Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bangalore. Swani, do you think at this stage, when you're looking to maintain, your run and everything else, would the Indian team bother to rest because of the fear that they could maybe just suddenly lose their momentum?
He might. I would warn against that completely. I think as a player within a team, I wouldn't want to be the bowler who's rested for a game just in case somebody gets injured down the road. I would cross that bridge when I get to it. If you suddenly get to the final and a bowler pulls up injured, you back the fact that the guy who's in waiting has been training hard and he's ready to go. You hope that never happens. And I think to actually throw someone in to give him a bowl, the guy who misses out, suddenly he's a game behind and he's got to catch up again. I don't like it at all. I think if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. Yes. You keep that winning team on the park. You keep them winning their games. You keep the momentum. And I mean, it's the snowball effect, the momentum that the Indian team have got right now. I mean, it's going to wipe out the village at the bottom of the mountain. It's that strong. So keep it going, keep it rolling.
Yeah, I ask you, agree with that. Don't make any changes. No need to try anything out of the ordinary, anything different. What's working for you is working for you. Just don't touch it right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, there's no question now of work overload and stuff like that, because you're just about 3 matches away from winning the title. And why do, yes, this is Netherlands and it's a weaker opposition. You don't have to fight and scrape and scramble for getting a place in the semis. It's already yours. But this is where you want the team to gel even better. What I would say is that, it's just a confidence booster if you're a Shami or a Siraj. And here we're talking more about the bowlers. When it comes to resting players, it's always about the bowlers, it's not about the batsmen for some reason. So I think that, there's no need to rest anybody, not even Jasprit Bumrah, though he's come back from injury and stuff like that. I think this is a team which is now primed in a sense to win. They can only beat themselves with a shuffle. That's the way I see it.
Overall, as far as the match itself is concerned, Karthik, any thoughts on what kind of a challenge the Netherlands could pose for India? Of course, they're known as the giant killers. They've done great credit to their cricket and to their country. But this is going to be a tough one for them, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. As Swanee rightly mentioned, the kind of effect which India have had on world cricket at the moment, everybody looking at this World Cup, everybody is in awe of the way India have played, literally decimated the opposition. So from India's point of view, again, it's that, do you want to take your eye off the ball? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure everybody is well rested. It's a long tournament. There are enough gaps. And I'm pretty sure me and Ayaz are willing to put our hand up if anybody needs an extra masseur for the bowling lineup. We are willing to come and do the massage work for them. Both hands, and we are good at it. So I don't think that is something which is required. So yeah, the only thing is, will India want to take their eye off the ball? I don't think they would want to. It's a slate which you want to remain very, very clean, and going into the semi-finals, by the looks of it, it seems that it's going to be New Zealand once again. And again, New Zealand were the ones which got India out of the 2019 World Cup. So it'll be interesting. I don't think so. Netherlands should pose any challenge, Shivani.
Yeah. Well, we'll move forward to the semi-finals now. As Karthik mentioned, New Zealand have all but booked their place in the semi-final, which will be against India. They had a dominant 5-wicket win with 160 balls to spare against Sri Lanka. That result took them to 10 points with a net run rate of 0.743, and leaving Pakistan needing to beat England by almost 300 runs if they are to surpass New Zealand's net run rate. That New Zealand performance was also the product of an all-round performance with bat and ball. Despite the loss of late wickets, Sri Lanka's total of 171 was comfortably dealt with. Devon Conway, Rachin Ravindra, Darren Mitchell all pitched in with 40s. And earlier, it was the Kiwi bowlers that shared the wickets amongst them. But it was Trent Bowles, 3 for 37, which was the defining performance that put his side on top and earned him the player of the match as well. So this is the equation as it stands. Pakistan and England play their final group match on Saturday. England is looking to play for pride, while Pakistan have a near impossible equation to qualify. As I said, they either need to beat England by 300 plus runs or win in just about 20 balls if they were chasing. Other than that, the semi-finals look like this. It's India versus New Zealand at the Wankhede, the first one, and South Africa, Australia in the second one, which will be played at the Eden Gardens. So, Swanee, is England up for the challenge against Pakistan?
We are on a roll now, I tell you this. We've beaten the Dutch, we've beaten Holland, and now we're flying. We're not going to finish bottom of this group. Let's face it, they are the semi-finals. We all know that, barring a miracle. Pakistan, having said that, actually, of all teams in the world who could suddenly win a game by 300 runs, Pakistan are that team. We all know that. I can't see it happening in this trip. I actually feel for Pakistan a bit. I think they've got a very good team. They're very close to being one of those top 4 teams. But they just they hit the skids, didn't they, in this tournament, and didn't recover in time.
Don't forget the fact. No, but Swanee, don't forget the fact that they were even in contention for the semis because they beat New Zealand after they scored 400 runs on Duckworth Lewis. So I think they already had their luck to even be in contention.
Okay, well, I'll take that. But I think what we've ended up with are the 4 best teams in the semi-final. I don't think anyone can argue with that. I think India will be. I don't know if India will be happy with New Zealand in the semi-final, or the ghosts of the past will haunt them a little bit, and they'll worry about that. But I think whoever they play in the final, I'm backing India to beat New Zealand in a semi-final and end up. And I know full well it's going to be Australia, because I don't want it to be Australia. No Englishman wants to see Australia in the World Cup final. But, they beat Afghanistan in a game where no other team in the world would win that game. And Glenn Maxwell single-handedly won the game. So it's going to be those top 4 teams. And I think on reflection of the whole World Cup, it's a very fair reflection. Australia started terribly the first couple of games, but have been excellent ever since. South Africa, they've had that slip up against the Netherlands, and then they were soundly beaten by India. So India should still feel very happy with the position they're in, even though, as the guys have said so far, the knockout stages, it suddenly form goes out the window and it's all about on the day. That brings its own challenges, but I think this Indian team is more than up to it.